Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting live show. I am going to be getting Prop Bomb on here, as some of you might know. I should have sent him this link already. This is bad somewhat producing on my part. Let me get Prop Bomb in here in a minute and we'll get going. We didn't have much yesterday. I didn't end up betting on RJ Barrett because I'm stupid. We talked about it a lot in the show yesterday, and then I didn't come through and do it for those in the VIP. So I apologize. Didn't have a bet yesterday that I ended up going with, mostly because I just didn't really love just one game. Didn't have that much to go for on it. But let me see. Where are you at, Prop Bomb? Here we go. Getting him in here now. I know some of y'all already have some bets in there. So let me make sure this is the right one. I'm going to take a look at those. I know David's in here producing as always, so appreciate you, David. We're going to get him to, he's going to be giving us those bets that you guys are putting in here in the comments. But let me get to some early ones, y'all, because you guys are already in here. So let's reward you for that. We've got Nate in here. He's talking about Mo Wagner. I'll definitely get to that real quick. Michael McIntosh likes Hartenstein on the Rebs and the assists, 15.5. Daft is taking his points and assists. Yeah, I like the points, and I did mention I briefly like the assists. I took the points for Hartenstein, and I took the double-double as well last night. So I know we're going to have some looks for Cole Anthony because he had a great game. This team is now void of offense. So Space Cram is bringing up Cole Anthony. I have a bit of a hard time getting in behind the Cole Anthony over bets in this game. I don't think he's going to be playing as much time as we might think. And I'll talk about that here with Prop Bomb, mostly because they were able to go small against the Phoenix Suns. I don't think they're going to be able to go small against this Bucks lineup. We might even be getting Chris Middleton in there. And you know that the Magic would prefer to go big. They always do. I mean, they have 2-3 dudes always that are like 6'10" in their lineup when Franz and Paolo are healthy. But obviously those dudes are out. So I'll take a look at Cole, but it's going to be minutes. Is he going to get the minutes? And I know they're going to be starving for offense, but it's tough for me. So it's been a bit of a stay away. But what's good, Marcus? Good to have you, bro. You are on Wagner tonight, took his PRA. Also put a little bit on him for over half a three. I like the half a three look for Mo Wagner a lot in this game. I think that when he is in there, he's going to be in there because they know that the Bucks are playing that drop defense. So Brook Lopez does not like to come out to the 3-point line and defend. That's why they give up a lot of threes to centers. So when Mo Wagner is in there, I do expect him to be shooting threes. It's just, is he going to be in there with the starters or is he going to be in there with the backups? And then he's looking at more of like Bobby Portis probably guarding him, stuff like that. So we'll take a look at that. Yusuf is asking if Middleton can hit 2 threes. He certainly can. He's done it before. Is he going to get the minutes? I think this is a game that we'll probably see his minutes tick upwards. We saw with Chris Middleton the first game, he played more minutes than we thought because they were playing the Celtics and they wanted to win that game. Then in the second game, they didn't need him quite as much, so they didn't play him quite as much. But I'll start sharing my screen and look at that. What's up, Amber? Good to have you in here. Appreciate the questions from yesterday as well. We got some more looks from Marcus and Nate. I'll take a look at those. Free Sauce, what's good, brother? Always good to have you in here. Little VIP capper. Daddy Herbs was on the Iosovich look yesterday. Good job. Good bring into the show. That was a good look to get him. I forgot what he ended with, but everybody ate except for T. Higgins. T. Higgins was the only one that didn't eat. So apologies to those of y'all that tried to get on T. Higgins, and I saw everybody in the comments frustrated that he wasn't getting anything. But what's good, Bobby Chura? We got Prop Bomb on deck. So when you say good, what's up, fellas? We're going to get him in here. He's backstage right now. I'm just getting through a couple more of these comments, and we're going to get our guy in here. Need a winner chicken dinner. We'll find that for you, bro. Of course, we've got some in here. We've already got a couple bets. Amber, if you are looking for the VIP and anybody else that's asking about it, the link is in the description of the video, so you can get that real easy. I'm out of codes for the 50% off. So if we have a big night tonight, I imagine we'll get another sale in there for the VIP Discord. We last time we bet on the hoops, it was a 4-3 night plus 0.7 units. So we'll take a down night for that for sure. Appreciate you, David. He's got that in here. If you want all the plays, jump in there and you can get that stuff. There's a few different packages, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said, looking to have a big night tonight, might have a sale in there. So we'll see. But either way, going to have those plays up for everyone in the VIP. I'll go through some of those now, but let's get PB in here. How are you doing, bro? Let me get you up in here. There we go. What's the word?
I don't see it yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, how's it going, Josh?
Good,
look, I made a little bit of an announcement in the Discord for any of the viewers to join in. So hopefully a little bit of a larger audience than normal.
Yeah. No doubt.
excited to to hop on here and maybe do a little bit of brainstorming, do some dabbling on some potential props.
Yeah.
And it's always a good time. This feels like it's the playoffs right now.
I know. I agree, man. I agree. I mean, I'm taking the NBA Cup seriously, but I don't think I'm the person they're trying to drag into the NBA. They've already got me, and they know that. I'm going to watch.
I love this. Personally, I love this. This is great.
Same. I agree. Because we also can kind of bank on teams caring, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if guys can go, then they will. And I do want to take a quick look at the injury report just to see if there's any updates. I don't know if you've seen anything important. What are you looking at right now with the injuries that you're kind of waiting on? Let's start there.
Okay. So for the Orlando Magic,
let's start in that
Bucks side, I think the injury that we're waiting to hear on is Jonathan Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
It says he's questionable. We were talking a little bit about it off air. We both think that it's more so likely he's not going to play with his hamstring injury. It seems to be a reoccurring type injury that he's been having to deal with. So even though despite, high stakes, I don't think they're going to really risk him out there. So I'm waiting on that. And then for the other game, Oklahoma City Thunder Mavs, we got to wait to hear on the forwards for them. That being Najee Marshall and PJ Washington.
Same. Yep. Yeah. That's what we're wondering. That's going to affect some stuff for sure. I do want to start in the Magic and the Milwaukee game. Try to keep it a little bit chronological, but also I think this is a game that we know a little bit more about, with the fact that we have a bit more understanding of the lineups. It's just the Jonathan Isaac stuff. But I think we both agree, even if Jonathan Isaac plays, we're talking like 15, 18 minutes tops. That's going to impact things. This game is going to be all about rotations and minutes, and we'll get into that. I do want to let everybody know too, this is going to be Props Madness. You're talking to a couple of Props Madness partners here. So definitely want to promote that to you guys and let you know if you do want to jump in, you can use code LYB. I got to promote that one on here. I believe you have one too for Prop Bob. He's got plenty.
It's pretty simple. The same one. I'd rather you get definitely it's your stream.
And I appreciate that. We'll get this one in here. LYB, if you do want to get 25% off your first month. And I will say I got the partnership a little bit late. So if you do have Props Madness, but you didn't use a code to get it, hit me up directly. You can just DM me on Twitter or on Discord at JL Boogie. I can get you some retroactive money off on the account. People helping people here. So keep that in mind. But this is the GOAT. We'll be talking about this stuff. Just brief intro. 3 things I love about it the most. 1, you're going to get the most updated line. You do not need to worry about that. This is pulling through once every 60 seconds because Pips is a madman and he gets more frustrated with stale lines than most people. So he made sure his product did not have stale lines. And then the other 2 would be the advanced filters. Everything here is going to be stuff you're not going to find on almost. I haven't found it anywhere. The ability to filter how well a person plays against a team that is good or bad against 3-pointers allowed, good or bad versus points in the paint scored, etc. Right? This stuff is huge because I can see what he plays like against other teams that are like this team right here that he's going to play tonight. And then the other thing would be everything on the bottom here: play type analysis, season shot charts. This stuff is like, you can find it if you go to like 4 different websites at once and then have a bunch of tabs open. So this is all in that one nice place for you with colors and everything for all of us ADD folks out there. So definitely recommend this for hoops of all kinds, WNBA as well as the NBA. But let's kick it off with this game. Did you want to get into anything that you're looking at? Did you have a bet yet in this one?
So I have 2 official plays. None of them are coming in this game. I think this is a very tricky game just in general. It's a completely different type of scenario game than if I would have talked to you about it last week. In a sense that, like, Orlando last week, they probably would have had Franz Wagner playing. Milwaukee last week, they probably wouldn't have had Middleton playing. So it's a lot of different dynamics. And then I think also too as well, like with Orlando, everyone is using the last game versus the Phoenix to kind of determine the outlook of the team kind of going forward. But it was also it's a game that I wouldn't really take too much into account. Just with, we talked about it off air, like how the Phoenix Suns play very small and also like how they close the game. I think it's going to be very different with their closing lineup going into tonight rather than it was last game. So it really is a little challenging to kind of come up with a little bit of like a game theory on this one.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll just show some stuff to what you're talking about, because this is popcornmachine.net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think this helps show what PB is talking about when he's mentioning the closing lineups and what to expect. And I just want to first actually go into the game log just real quick to show the minutes, because a lot of people will just start with Cole Anthony before we get into anything else, because he's been asked about a lot. A few cappers are on Cole Anthony overs in this game. So I wanted to talk about that briefly.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about him.
Yeah, do it through the lens of and start by looking at the minutes last game. So you're going to notice last game, Goga, KCP, Jalen Suggs. Those are the dudes playing 30 plus. And then Cole Anthony got 28 minutes to be the fourth leading minute getter in this game. So everybody's going 14 shots, 28 minutes, 14 points. Dude he's the only other guy that can kickstart any kind of offense outside of kind of Jalen Suggs, who I also rank much lower than most offensive point guards that you're going to see in this league. He's not a point guard. He's just playing it in this one. So, and then Mo Wagner, 17 minutes. Okay, we'll get to that. The other thing, though, is this lineup for Phoenix. So who are they playing the most? They're playing a lineup of Beal, O'Neal, Booker, Tyus Jones, and then either Oso or Mason, who do what you will with that. But they're not very big, right? Their 4 is Royce O'Neal, who's like 6'7". So they're able to go a little bit smaller. They've got Beal, Booker, Jones. You've got 3 guards out there. So that allows Cole Anthony to come out and not be as bad as he normally is on defense and hurt the team. But this is a Milwaukee team that's going to be much, much bigger in their lineup than everything that you saw here. A 3-guard lineup for them, if you consider, I don't know, Middleton a guard, like that's big. That is too big for Cole Anthony. So if I was Jamal Mosley, and knowing him, he likes to play big. He starts 3 dudes that are 6'10" for a reason. Don't you think he's going to go back to a bigger lineup and we'll see a little bit less Cole Anthony and a little bit more perhaps Mo Wagner in this one? Because I don't know if Jonathan Isaac's going to play.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off what you were just saying, if you go on Popcorn Machine, right, like you can see that, what is it? Cole Anthony played 28 minutes, right? Or is that
28 minutes? Yep.
Check. Okay, so check the second half. I believe he played 17 straight minutes.
In the second half? Yeah, if we look right here.
Yeah, like that. So the Magic had an extremely small ball lineup to close the game. Yeah, like he played over Wendell Carter, who started. Yep. The Magic lineup consisted of Suggs, Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, and just smaller type players just to match with how the Phoenix, like what you were saying, plays small. I don't necessarily think that's the case against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, it could be a little bit of a different story if the Orlando Magic do kind of trail, and if it's like a, 10, 12 point deficit, and they do need to rely more on Cole Anthony. Yeah. But I think if it's any type of normal situation, I really don't think the ceiling for Anthony is going to be the same as it was to last game. Yep. I understand, though, like the whole logic of that. They do need his creation and his playmaking, because the Magic are without their 2 all-star players. So that's where the tricky part comes to. It's like, where do you kind of see the game ending up? Do you see the Bucks having a heavy lead where they need him more than normal? But if the game is close, then they maybe the Cole Anthony minutes aren't going to be there. So I'm like, I don't really have a set like strong lean on over or under. Yeah, it's more so a stay away. That's kind of where I'm at.
Agreed. And I'll just bring this up for everybody too. If you took Cole Anthony at 13.5 points, which it was a minute ago, and he kind of got a bad number. And this went down, I imagine. I didn't look yet at ETR actually, but I'm going to guess that Established the Run came out with their projections, and they did not have Cole Anthony very high, would be my guess.
I'm not sure.
I'm just going to pull it up. Yeah. For those of y'all that don't know, ETR, the reason I think it's more important than anything, the number one reason I think it's important, I should say, is because so many people are going to base their numbers on this. You're going to see books move lines at 5 p.m. Eastern each day that ETR comes out with their projections based on what they did. So if I go to Cole Anthony, they've got him for 11.6 points. And this was at 13.5 points before this projection came out. So just as an example of how they're moving lines, and that at 5 p.m. you can know that things are going to probably move around depending on these projections, then you got to keep that in mind. So I'm glad I stayed away from the Cole stuff. 11.5 is a little bit better. DeJuice knows what we're talking about. 11.5 is a little bit better. But yeah, it's a stay away for me too. So let's get to a play that you like from this game.
I guess from the Milwaukee Bucks side, I think I kind of like Brook Lopez in this spot. Okay. I think he's really going to be able to showcase his shooting. I think, Goga Bitadze, He plays drop coverage. He's needed for rim protection for Giannis drives. And I think that's going to also open up a little bit of better looks for Goga. I think Damian Lillard's probably going to have a tough time here. KCP and Suggs is not going to really have that much wiggle room. And I think Goga or Brook Lopez, normally he loses minutes because Bobby Portis kind of takes them. But they're also going to need Brook Lopez, I think, in this spot because the Orlando Magic are very big in terms of their size. So I kind of lean the over 8.5 or the 9.5 points for Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, you're going to see like he kind of had like his lowest minutes of the season versus the Nets, but I don't really think he was needed. I mean,
right. Yeah,
that's kind of like the only thing I can say. Yeah.
Yeah, so he would be needed from the standpoint, like that's the thing, is needed or not, like is it for Goga that we're looking at his minutes? Like is that part of
to match him too? I definitely think the rim protection is going to be needed because the Orlando Magic, just in general, with the players and talent that they have, are going to be leaning more so rim heavy. You know what I mean? Like a lot of their shots are going to come at the rim, so they are going to need Lopez's like protection, I think, and drop coverage a lot.
Yep, I would agree with that. Yeah, I'm with that. I didn't look at Brick. I think mostly
Brick Lopez.
I got chastised in my own VIP Discord for betting on Brook Lopez the other day. He got us the boards, but I shouldn't have bet on the points is what happened. I'm not that worried about it. I just know that I'll get reprimanded by everybody if I play that again.
Yeah,
which isn't going to stop me, but it is something to consider. I'll at least say that. I'm just putting up some stuff on the bottom line real quick so that I can make sure that my plays from the live show are clear to everybody. That's a lean for you right now, though, right? That's not.
It's a lean. I'm not really. I don't know. Maybe I gotta like look more at the Jonathan Isaac news. That was my whole thing. Is I didn't want to touch this game until I had the most clarity going into it.
Got you. Yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah. No. I also kind of like the Bucks side. I think normally the Magic are really like in any type of matchup. I think they're really good at taking away spot up shooting. That's kind of like their identity.
Yes.
But I think just for this specific matchup, I think the spot up shooting is actually going to be where the points are going to come from because of design and everything. Like I said, I think Dame's probably going to have a hard time. They probably build a wall on Giannis and kind of like make Giannis pass out to the open shooters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe AJ Green, Gary Trent could be or Taurean Prince be kind of guys that step up.
Yeah,
Taurean Prince has been a little bit unlucky. I look at his last two games. I think one of the games he got in early foul trouble, which kind of like hurt his minutes.
And he was a little bit under the weather. I believe there was an illness thing with him too. So his minutes dropped to 9 and 18 in the last game. 4.5 points. The thought here, and I'm actually pulling up Underdog to see if they updated any kind of starting lineup that was announced. Okay, so the Magic are going to start Suggs, KCP, De Silva, Carter Jr., Bitadze. We know that. I want to see Chris Middleton if he's starting for this team as well, because I think that would be a strong.
I would say he starts at this
You think
point.
He's good to go? Like that seems to be the case, right?
If he's not starting, I think Andre Jackson probably starts. But
okay, that was my question.
I
think I agree because whoever starts between Andre Jackson and Taurean Prince is going to be guarding Suggs, is what I imagine, right? And you probably want Andre Jackson to be doing that. Otherwise, it's Gary Trent guarding Suggs.
You figure like the highest usage player is going to be Jalen Suggs, so they're going to probably want to maybe elevate Andre Jackson's minutes to combat that.
Precisely. And I think that'll be the case if they win this game against the Knicks or the Hawks for Trae Young and Jalen Brunson.
Same thing.
Well. I want to keep that in mind for tonight. If Andre Jackson's spending most of his time on Suggs, it tells me that they do want him on the best point guard on the other team. And there's 2 scoring point guards coming his way if they win one of 2, if they win this game.
Yeah.
And JB is actually a little bit banged up, which happened in the Raptors game. But moving past that, I like where your head's at for one of these dudes. I just don't know which one. Obviously, Gary Trent would be the thought. AJ Green could have a look. I don't know. Like I don't believe in the Magic very much. I think we just saw something against the Suns where they won by 5, and they were basically just like win one for the Gipper in a way. It's stars out, bets up is how I like to phrase it. And the first game with all the stars out, I think those dudes looking for minutes come out banging, and I don't know if that's going to be the case as much in this 2 games after the dropping of Franz Wagner for a while.
Yeah, this game's in Milwaukee too, right? Like,
yes.
The other game, I believe it was in Orlando, like the first game. The Magic tend to do like offensively it's huge difference when they're at home compared to on the road. I don't know if there's going to be enough like Magic,
which is why we might be seeing some Cole Anthony. If nothing else,
Yeah.
we might be looking at some wasted minutes. But let me look at one that I wanted to give everybody to from the Bucks. I don't have much right now. What I liked in this game, I took 2 plays. We'll see where he's at. I took Goga on the boards over 7.5. I got it minus 125.
Okay, fair enough.
That's gone. But I just couldn't get over a couple of things with him. It was the rebound chances at 22 rebound chances last game. I know that he was playing against inferior rebounders that whole game. I get that. So I'm taking that with a grain of salt. But the other stuff that I was showing, and I don't think I showed everybody yet, but one, he had the second most touches on the team in this last game. He was clearly the second most important person on offense. If you guys go to use tracking data on NBA Advanced Stats, you can choose players tracking, and this is how you can look at touches. And what this tells me, and I just want to look at the last game. So I'm just going to last game. I know I'm doing this real fast. Always down to take questions if anybody has any. But I'm going to the last game that the Magic played and looking at their players' tracking data to see the touches. And you can see not only is Jalen Suggs dominating and has more than twice as many as Cole Anthony. I'll just put that out there for everyone. Goga Bitadze was clear far and away the second leading toucher, and in the front court had the most touches. So I think I'm not trying to necessarily say his points, but I'm noticing that like he's more important than just the dude that they expect to go get rebounds when they don't have the help they need on offense right now. So that's number one. The other thing for him would be obviously needing him in a position to build a wall against Giannis. So expecting those minutes to stay up. So everything just leads me to the only thing that scares me is if Jamal Mosley decided that he wanted 2 3-point shooters on the floor in Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Wagner, he could do that. And that would increase their offense tremendously without having to give up too much size. I'm just going to say that my belief is that is overridden by the fact that Goga Bitadze is so crucial to what they do. And the last thing, PB, and I know how much you love court IQ stuff. If you do use anything as simple as like Fantasy Labs, which is what I'm going to go to, and I was showing everybody this. It's not the main thing, but this is all helpful supporting evidence to put into the argument that he's going to go over. I'm going here to use on-off stuff. So for everybody unaware, more so than just how does a player do when a guy doesn't play in this game or is out with injury or whatever. What about when they're actually on the floor together with different lineups? Because different guys being on the floor at different times is going to impact you differently. So I'm putting Goga, Jalen Suggs, where are we going? Wendell, and I'm putting KCP in here. Where are you at? Because I got 4 guys that I know are going to be in there, and then you're going to sub in Anthony Black and Cole Anthony, and other guys are going to be subbed in around them. But those core 4 are going to be the most impactful on the court. I want to make sure I've got Franz Wagner and Paolo off the court because I know they're not playing. So what happens for Goga, for instance, when he's in this situation? Not that much of a sample size. We've got 16 minutes in 2 games.
Yeah, not enough
on the floor. Yeah. Definitely not enough. But I will say that at least in those 2 games where he's played with this 4-man lineup, it's a very nice rebound percentage. And if I make it standard so I can see that, the rebounds for him are about 17.5 per 36. You do that by minute. I know I'm getting mathy on you guys, but if you do that by minute and you say, how many rebounds is Goga getting per minute when he's on the floor with these dudes? Well, per minute, he's at about 0.49. You give him 25 minutes, that's like 9.5 boards. So I just like the rate at which he is rebounding. Granted, I cannot use this. The Bucks are a much better rebounding team than the Suns. I totally get that. They're much better against the center, all of that. But I think the volume will be there enough to keep him in the running for the 8 boards, essentially.
Yeah. Look, Josh, on paper, I think this is this bet makes a lot of sense. I actually lean the over where you took.
Yeah.
But again, this kind of goes back to last game versus the Phoenix Suns in the closing lineup. A lot of the reason why he had that 22 rebound chances was because he was sharing the floor with Anthony Black, Suggs, and Cole Anthony at the same time. You have a 3-guard lineup. So he gets he's like a rebound magnet at that point. Is that the same case tonight? I don't know. I also do think that there's some foul trouble risk defending Giannis. I also do think that Brook Lopez can stretch him out, bring him outside the paint maybe. But at the same time, though, 7.5 rebounds. And all that to be said, I think Goga is going to get the minutes if he's just not in foul trouble. He's the most important big man. I think the Magic tend to realize that, and they really have been leaning in on him lately.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too would be the guarding of Brook Lopez in the individual matchup. Is he pulled away from the basket to get those threes?
Exactly.
We get that. I get all that. I was really confident the number was going to go up and the minutes would stay at 30. So I got it at minus 125, mostly unavailable at that number now moving forward. So I'm at least happy with it. I'll just eat it if this is a bad look. But there's a lot of conjecture here that we have to use in speculation because we just don't know what Orlando's rotations are going to look like just yet. Playing a completely different team than the one that they just played in the Suns. So that's one. I ended up also, dude, fading Jalen Suggs, and all my bets are on the bottom line right now, scrolling along. So as those are going, you can see them.
PRA, right? The PRA.
I faded all of it. Yep, PRA on that for Jay Suggs. One more quick thing: give that video a like. I know Free Sauce is out there letting y'all know that this is weak shit, but let's get some likes on that if you got it. We've got close to 500 people in here, so we should get a couple more than those likes. Yeah. Broke some records yesterday, by the way. Climbed well above. Oh no, I'm sorry. We climbed above 700. The record remains. We're doing it this year, by the way. I haven't said it yet, but you, me, and Pips are going back on the show. We'll get Daft in there, and anybody that wants to cap with us,
we'll do it, man.
We're going there on the last day of the season when all the subs
Oh my god,
in.
that was like insane.
It was beautiful.
I don't even think. I think we went 16-1 with all the players that we recommended,
bro. We had at one point we had 6,000 people.
That was like legendary, man. Like I remember that so vividly. Like it was a Sunday. I didn't eat any breakfast, any lunch. Like it was straight up just. That was so fun.
100%, dude. We're doing that again this year. I cannot wait. But all right. So yeah, go ahead and get that video. Okay. Yeah, we'll be good. But all right. And then Jalen Suggs. So is 30.5 available? Yeah, no, it's not.
Monotone was on there too, by the way. Shout out Monotone. He's probably listening.
Oh yeah, Monotone jumped in. Dude, that's the best, man. You just get a running revolving door.
Yeah, we'll have that going.
People. It's awesome. We're going to make that happen again. I'm going to start getting that going and get like 20 different dudes to cycle in and out. And me, you, and Pips just kind of sitting back while everybody comes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I got this at under 30.5.
Said, can I drink on the show? Sorry to cut you off.
No, what'd you say?
Pips said, can I drink on the show? Of course.
Yes. No, of course. It's going to be a Sunday afternoon, man. It's perfect day drinking time. All right. So yeah, I took the under 30.5. Hold on, just getting the plug here. For Jalen Suggs, I think 29.5 was takeable, playable to about -110 on the under. You're getting -115 DK. Consider it, but for me, it was a couple of things. I don't think he's going to be as free as he was against Phoenix, who's terrible guarding the point guard. So are the Bucks. Don't get me wrong. This is a bad defense for sure, but he's by himself. I do not trust everybody around him. I don't think this is going to be that close of a game. I think Milwaukee will will pull away by the third quarter with their offense, and maybe the Magic are playing okay defense for a while, but at some point they're not going to be able to keep up with their offense and Milwaukee's. So I mean, 30 minutes for this man. If you look at him in the same types of lineups, again, don't want to have this be the end all be all, but if you look at him with these lineups, it's still not like he's just going off and getting his thing. In 36 minutes of action with this lineup or some iteration of it, he's looking at about 22 points per game, 2 dimes and 2 rebs. And the rebs and the assists are really what I like making sure I add. If he goes off from 3, fine. But I would just make clear he went off against the Suns from 3 on pull-ups, and his pull-up shot. The Suns cannot guard the pull-up. They give up the most shots. The highest frequency of shots against them are pull-up shots, and that's what he's going to have to do in this one too. They're not going to be moving the ball around and then hit him for a spot up. He's not in that position anymore, which he normally would be. So also, Jonathan Isaac ruled out. Appreciate everybody jumping in and letting us know that. That's big info. Makes me like my Goga bet a little bit more. So anyway, Pips, you trying to jump on Friday? Yeah, big slate. We're here for it. If we can get it going again this Friday, let's get it. I love that idea. Yeah, we'll get Pips on here. Shout him out again for Props Madness, the GOAT. He knows it. Those are the 2 that I have in from this game and didn't really have much else in it at this point. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did fade Wendell Carter Jr. I just don't know if that's I don't think you're going to get 7.5 on most books anymore for Wendell Carter Jr.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so I took the under 7.5. It was another early play that I liked to make sure that I got it in before it went down. But I believe he's going to be guarding Giannis. I don't even know if he's going to get 28 minutes. I think he's going to get 25 max. He got 21 in the last one. I know they're going to go small, but he's not. He's basically just not going to be. I think Goga is going to maintain the minutes. He's guarding Giannis. Bucks give up the 7th fewest rebounds per game to power forwards because they're guarding Giannis. They get bulldozed to under the rim. We talked about that. So I like Wendell Carter Jr. as well. That's scrolling on the bottom line. But anything else that you would want to look at in this game? And I also want to make sure I check the live doc to see if anybody had any looks that we should keep an eye on.
Yeah, I had 2 more looks.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a little bit worse now that Isaac is ruled out. I kind of, even though it's a high number, I kind of leaned Giannis's under 30.5 points, just with what we've been saying the entire show is that they're going to be packing the paint with him. And the Magic are a very good team in terms of size to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I like that kind of line. And I also kind of like Anthony Black, his under 8.5 points.
Okay.
If we do think that Cole Anthony is going to be running the second unit with him, that probably means that he's going to be more willing to take shots than Anthony Black.
Yeah.
Anthony Black himself as well. He's at his best when he could drive to the rim. That's like where he's scoring most of his points and through transition. Yes, the Bucks have been, really poor with transition, but they've been a little bit better as of late.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to how I see the second unit being, where if he's with Cole Anthony, that's going to take a huge percentage of his usage away.
Yeah.
And he may be just, regress back to just a spot up shooter.
Yep.
I kind of like the under 8.5 points for Anthony Black.
I like that. Yeah. I wasn't going to go near anything for overs for him. I personally think he should be getting more minutes than he gets, but I know he does a couple dumb things every game that kind of get him pulled and his minutes a little bit more in check. So even if he's at 25 tonight, don't know how much he'll be involved. I do think if Cole's out there, he'll be taking way too many shots for Black to get his. So I agree with that look. Let's move to this other game. If there's anything else, I know people want to talk about Lillard. I just don't feel like messing with those high numbers for these dudes in a game that I don't think is going to be that close. And that either one could go off. If this was a normal game, I'd be like, yeah, let's take Dame as the point guard who scores and can score off the pick and roll, all that. But with this game not looking the same and the defense actually being weaker down low because they don't have Franz or Paolo, that's what scares me. There's nobody that can guard Giannis would be my only fear of taking an under on him. Is not that there's anybody in the league that can really guard him.
Isaac would have been the best person. I think
precisely.
Isaac,
precisely
Isaac would have been good.
Yeah. There's only so many 6'10"
or like
athletes.
OG Anunoby,
Precisely.
like that,
freak athletes is what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but let's look at the other one.
Talk too much about Lillard. I guess like real quick with Lillard, I don't have a lean on him. I guess maybe under. I don't know. Well, 23.5. What is?
Yeah, it's gone down. It's some people are betting.
Yeah, I don't have anything I could say about him. I don't think there's any edges here with him. Exactly. Also, Middleton's back, so that could take away some usage. Yeah.
Middleton being in there. Someone was asking me earlier about Dame turnovers going over, and I was like, I don't think he's not gonna have the ball in his hands as much. And this is not going to be the exact same Magic defense that we're used to. So, at 6.5, I'm starting to get a little bit scared of the Wendell Carter stuff because Buckhead was asking. So good question, but I'm unfortunately probably gonna have to stay away from that for Wendell. I would still probably take the under PR unless they think he's gonna hit threes. So if the PR is a little bit better for an under for him, that's a look. But let's move to this game. I've got a lot of people asking about Dort is the first one. So we're talking about is it Dort points? All you Dort heads out there, check out Dort. Tell me what you're looking at, Distro Kid. I know we got a lot of Dort looks, so let me know what you're looking at, and we can get into it. I'm imagining the request here is points for Dort. You can get 9.5 minus 115. So what would be the thinking here? Spot up shots versus the Mavs.
I will say though, the Pelicans, like that is the A+ matchup for Dort, and of course, like he crushed it. That was the A+, like catch and shoot, highest frequency.
Yep, that they allow catch and shoot, right?
Yeah.
So then what? Yeah, I mean, for the spot up stuff, you can see they're 22nd. For the Mavs on defense there, so that makes sense. What's his head-to-head stuff with this team?
I will say this though for Lou Dort, something to keep in mind with. I think he's going to be defending Luka Doncic most of the game, or help with one of the All-Stars. And I think it's going to take a lot of his energy from the offensive side, using that all on the defense. At the same point too, it's funny. Last Thursday, I took his under versus the Toronto Raptors, and I read a report. He is like playing with a broken finger. I read something that like he's wearing like a splint or something, and it's been affecting his shooting. So just like the outside factors that the data really can't tell the full story with.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Look it up.
Well, no. So to that point though, like my guess, a lot of times when there's a lot of people going after the same thing, I'm kind of like, all right, what's his hit rate against this team? What's he been doing recently?
18 points though, but Luka didn't play that game. He didn't have to use so much energy on Luka.
There's 2 points to be made. One, Luka didn't play in this game. Great point. 2, if you look at last season in the regular season, where he's still at about the minutes that he's at on the regular, other than these 49-point blowout, 35-point blowout. And the other 2 games that were normal, looking at about 30 minutes, right? 32, 30, and 28. So about 30. So still, like in these situations, went over one time, looking at 9 shots,
Yeah.
13 shots. So he is getting actually the volume even in the regular season against this team. He went 1 for 6 for 3 in this game. So, but this was, why does it say without Man? Oh, right, because Micic and Man were still on the Thunder at this point last year. I was like, why is Micic and Man
so
brought
funny.
up? But they're not on the Hornets right now in this season. So anyway, yeah, that I can see it. I get it. Do you want to do you think the volume is going to be there for him? And to your point, if he's guarding Luka, like how fresh is he to be making those jumpers? I would
he's definitely. I think he's going to be fatigued because you know how Luka plays. Luka is a bully. You know the post ups, the back downs. I think it's definitely going to like play a toll on his energy. Yeah. You know, I think he's gonna physically like limit him. I think on offense. So I think matchup wise, it makes sense to take the over. But the outside factors, it's a stay away.
Yeah, I would agree. The outside factors make it a stay away. I'm going to go to, so the Mavs are 22nd. Let's go to like bottom 10-ish teams,
right?
Versus his play type.
Okay.
So it's a decent hit rate, but it's still 9.5 points on the average here. It's actually lower even in these situations. There's 11 teams that rank in the bottom 10 or 11 against the spot up, which is his shot. And against those teams, he's had some big games. Should also mention he's been without, like, Chet and iHeart were out for one of those or a bunch of those. So there's going to be a little bit more in rotation. There's not really any injuries to worry about for the Thunder here.
Yeah.
I see what people are saying. It's not enough for me. I'm not going to just straight up tell you to stay away because I see the reasoning behind taking it. But I will confidently say that it's a stay away. I can confidently say I have no confidence in it. So, all right, I'm going to pass on that one. We've got some up next stuff here too. Appreciate it, David. Always, another shout out for David. I could not be doing any of this shit that we're doing at this point without producing of his magnitude. So I appreciate that, bro. Daft is taking points and assists for Hartenstein. First of all, fuck Daft. Who cares? Just kidding. Love you, bro.
I like that one, yeah.
But the rebounds and assists is a good look. So yeah, did you have anything yet in for this game?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to give them out, I have. You know, I told you the last game I have no official plays. This game I have 2 official plays.
Perfect.
So we can add that. We could talk about the first one. Luka Doncic going on the other side. We were just talking about how Dort's going to guard Luka.
Yes.
I think Luka is going to guard Dort.
Yes.
I think what's going to happen is, and it's like, I think this has really good history hit rate wise. I have his over 8.5 rebounds for Luka Doncic. For starters, look at his last 3 games. He's looked great. 12, 10. 13. I think maybe a small percentage has to do with Najee Marshall not playing. I don't know if that's the case or not. Could be.
Could.
I like the fact, though, with Luka, it's a positioning thing, right? I think if Jason Kidd is smart, he's going to want to probably take him away from the action on defense, try to like hide him on the corners where he's not being able to be switched onto. And I think that's going to mean that he's probably going to be guarding. He's probably going to be defending either Lou Dort or Alex Caruso. And what that means is he's probably going to be sagging off them, maybe for some extra protection on drives. And it's going to put him in positions to grab rebounds. Whereas the other guys, like, you know, the centers, right, Lively and Gafford, probably going to be struggling, maybe grabbing rebounds over Isaiah Hartenstein. Yep. You'd figure if PJ Washington plays, he's probably going to be defending drives from SGA or J-Dub. So I think out of all the players on the court, Luka probably has the higher percentage chance of grabbing rebounds. And over 8.5. I wonder what the line's at now.
It's 8.5, but it's got the PB bump. There's no LYB bump yet because I bet this as well. Where did we go here? Where did we just go with Luka? There he is. So yeah, you bet this maybe however many hours ago, and it was 8.5. I got it at plus 110, y'all. So that's what line movement looks like right here. Plus 110, and some books are already pushing this up to 9.5, like ESPN Bet. Fliff is there as well. You got to take 9 on PP, which is fine. But yeah, Pinnacle at 8.5, over minus 153 to the over. I always love to see as well. We talk about Pinnacle is a sharper book. Quick diatribe for those of y'all that are in here, because I know we have some learning minds as well. I appreciate all the questions from yesterday, by the way, from everybody who was asking stuff just about different aspects of sports betting overall. We definitely got some really good points in there. In this one, what I'm talking about here is Pinnacle being a sharper book. So quick diatribe, Pinnacle is a sharper book because, one, it will take sharper money, and it actually creates its own projections. So unlike most of these other books, Pinnacle is coming out with its own lines and doing a little bit more extensive work to come out with those lines. So you can trust that they're sharper, right? They're better. That's what I mean by sharper. They are more accurate lines for what's going to happen. DraftKings, they're just going to mock other books. They're going to see what the market is doing, and they're going to copy it. So when I see Pinnacle's numbers, this to me is a lot more of a legitimate projection than these other numbers right here. To that point,
I would say too, like I was talking about this with, I don't know if Pips is still listening. I was talking about this with him off camera or off screen.
Yeah.
Pinnacle, like what you just said, is one of the sharpest lines. Also, Prop Builder on Bovada, another sharp line, and I think Caesars as well is very sharp.
And that's using Bet Online. Yeah, to your point, the Bovada, the player prop tool is something that kind of just is pulled through to multiple different books as well. And a lot of those are the offshore books, but those are super accurate. I hate those lines because in California, when I try to play those, they're sharp. They're annoying. They're never as good as the other ones. Yeah, for sure. So I love this look. I'm in agreement with all of it. It's the rebounds. It's where he's playing on the floor. We talked about this whenever we went live last season in the playoffs. Luka versus the Mavs, Luka versus the Timberwolves, Luka versus the Thunder. Both those series, they're basically playing a zone defense because they've got their main defender on SGA. They've got PJ Washington playing somewhat free safety to wait for SGA to drive into the middle, and that leaves Luka just on the baseline. And they love for him to get those rebounds on defense so he can start the fast break. We talked about that last year too, right? Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, and you can even look too real quick. Like if you go, you can't do it this season because he didn't play, but last season, if you go on the 2020 and look at the head-to-heads, like you'll see what I mean as far as like, I mean, look at the hit rate on that. 10, 15, 12, 10, 10. I mean, you could probably even get 10 plus. And
this was a 35-point blowout, 31 minutes.
That's take that out. You take that out of the equation. Like, you know.
Then this one was a 22-point blowout. Played 41 minutes, but there weren't very many missed shots by the Thunder for him to grab rebounds. So that was a big part of that. And that Mavs defense is looking really good. So yeah, both these teams playing really fast as of late as well. So we should be getting some good amount of possessions for those boards. Like the Luka look, I think everything's freaking low for him, dude. Honestly, I think like even the dimes were a little bit low for him. He loves to dime up versus this team as well. If you look at last season, very good on the dimes because this team forces the ball out of the ball handler's hands. So the points are much lower for this team against Oklahoma City. The points scored are much lower for a pick and roll ball handler where they're sixth best, limiting points to that play. But if you look at the spot up, it's 27th. Because the catch and shoot is available, because guys who are waiting for the catch and shoot from Luka, like the baby birds that they are, that are just like, feed me my wide open 3-point shot. And then Luka just finds them the ball because he's got 4 dudes on him. And then they get a wide open shot. And that's going to be the case, I think, once against OKC. So love Luka there. Really wish that I felt more comfortable about PJ Washington's health because they're still giving us plus. Oh, okay, they finally dumbed it down. It was plus 110 for him to hit the 1.5 threes. But you see DraftKings mimicking Pinnacle. They left this plus 110 up forever, and then Pinnacle had it lower, and they were like, "Oh wait, we're dumb. What are we doing?" So I'll stay away from that.
This one's a little weird though. I will put a little caution. Like compared to last season in the playoffs, remember who the Mavs had at starting lineup, right? They had Derek Jones Jr. and Washington. Now they're replacing Derek Jones Jr. with a more competent shooter in Klay Thompson,
right?
And they're not going to be so inclined to double, whether it be Luka and Kyrie, and they may be more so worried about, if they do that, then they leave Klay Thompson open. So maybe they are like playing single coverage or staying on the shooters. Maybe that could also affect PJ Washington, maybe getting a little bit of harder looks now because they're not going to. OKC's not going to be more inclined to double.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's fair. And I'll just add too, like I'm scared that he's actually sick and that it's not an injury that he's trying to play through. It's an illness that he's trying to play through. You have a fever and you try to go, and then by the second quarter you're like throwing up and your legs are shaky. Then you're coming out of the game. So I don't want to have to like rely on someone that might not even play the whole game. I totally agree with that stuff. We'll get to the J-Dub. I saw the look for J-Dub in there, and we can. But actually, this is what I was going to talk about, which is what Amber just brought up again, which is Klay on the threes. So the thing that I want to bring up, and I know that you're looking at the same stuff, but I'll tell everybody what I'm looking at here with Klay is like, yes, he sucked in this last game. He was against OKC. He went 1 for 8 from 3, 1 for 11 from the field, was forcing it, thought that he was going to do well, did not do well, right? He has a great history against OKC and is a very good spot-up shooter, maybe the best of all time, which is the reason that he does so well against them historically. That said, he was playing without Luka last game, and he does better with Luka out there, as most players who are spot-up shooters are going to do better with Luka on the floor. But is he too much of a liability on defense? That's the final point for Klay, is like, is he going to play more than 25 minutes in this game? They won the last game. He still only played 25 because if he's not making his threes, then he's unplayable. So do you have anything for if PJ's out, would that lead you towards Klay Thompson at all?
Yeah, no, I definitely think the OKC struggles the most on spot up shooting than they do with pick and roll ball handling. I think Kyrie is going to have a tough matchup. We already said Dort's probably going to be on Luka. So I think the path to maybe more scoring maybe has to come through Klay Thompson,
Yeah.
where most of the points are going to come from. So it makes sense. I'm not going to go there. I don't know. I never really have success when I take these spot up shooters. It's hit or miss most of the time.
100%.
More difficult shots that they have to make.
Yes.
But
that's what we're saying here, man, is like the only time that I'd take Klay is if I can guarantee myself that I'm going to get a ton of shots, because he's not scoring in any other fashion, right? He's at like 1.5 free throw attempts per game. I didn't even like betting on him when he was on the Dubs, much less.
Scroll down for a second. What is the percentage here that from Props Madness, like how the Thunder are allowing in the play types?
So they're 25th.
Okay, so 45% of his points. So maybe just take threes. Like I would maybe go the threes and the points, you know?
Right. So we're at 2.5 threes for him. Even at like, I mean, I'd consider this at -130 if you're going to play even over, it's 11.5 points. So you're basically saying he has to make 4 threes because that's most of his points coming off of that, right? 3 of 8. 3 of his 8 field goals were threes. 3 of his 4 field goals were threes. Yeah. So if he's going 0 from 3, he's going under on his points. You might as well just always be taking the threes with Klay.
Sure.
And at that point, it's volume. He took 8 last game. I like him to make 3 of 8. If you think he's going to get another 8 looks, which is highly plausible, especially without PJ, then I think that's the look. If PJ's in, no, nothing. I got nothing for you with Klay. If PJ is out and it's legit,
that'll be so weird. Yeah, I would honestly, if PJ Washington is out, I would take OKC spread. I would think it'd be more inclined to be a blowout, honestly. I don't know how the Mavericks can find a point of attack defender if they're not going to have Najee Marshall, not going to have PJ Washington. I don't even know how they can keep this game close.
Quentin Grimes at that point.
Yeah, I guess, sure.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Or Maxi Kleber, yeah, let's use him.
No, he's out too. Yeah.
Oh, he's out? Okay, Dwight Powell. Like, who are you going to use? Olivier Maxwell Prosper? Like, who are we using?
Oh, boy, that is a really good point. Who are they bringing in at that point? I really don't even know. Yeah, not really worth it at that point. Did you have anything else? Let me get my Hartenstein bet, because I do want, and I want to talk about J-Dub, but I'll just tell everybody, this is going to be something that people were complaining on the comments of my video that everybody and their mom had bet Hartenstein. Okay, well, first of all, I was the first one, so relax. Second of all, check the receipts. Second of all, this was at 10.5. It's at 11.5. That's called closing line value. It means that the line that I took at 10.5 bumped in my direction upwards, meaning I got better value at 10.5 than most people are going to get at 11.5. The points are because it's 2 very simple reasons. One, he's shooting most of his shots not from the restricted area.
This is good. Yes.
From the extended area in the paint, right? 54%. And as a Knicks fan, the thing I miss most about Hartenstein is the little push shot from 6
he's the best when it comes to that.
Lethal.
Floaters, like the floaters. He's the best
coming in like he's like a world be free or like a little guard. Like 100%. Where did he get
this? Is good. I like this angle here. Keep going.
So I love that. That's also why I understand Daft took the assists, and I saw someone put that in here that Daft Previews took the assists as well for Hartenstein, which I also like because of the fact that you get that drop D from Gafford going under the basket, which means anywhere around the extended free throw line or so is going to be pretty open for Hartenstein, and he's going to be able to turn and find those dudes in the corner like he did all last year with the Knicks as well. So I like the assist for him, something he's been hitting very consistently as well. I just took the points, and I took a double-double as well for Hartenstein because it was plus 105, and I'm sure that's not there anymore for him to get the double-double. 10 boards I'm not scared of. 12, not even that scared of, but this is a better rebounding team than it is limiting points to the center. So I just went and kept it simple. 10 boards and 10 points for the double-double. Over on the points, Bob's your uncle. So I'm riding with Hartenstein.
What's the last year's sample when he played the Thunder? Or the Mavs?
The Mavs. Let's look.
Did you see what he did
last season? Got one game in there.
Okay, so look, the game where he had 32 minutes, he got 15 points. That actually is a good. I actually do really like that a lot.
Yeah,
I think I would go the PA over. Yeah, that's how I would attack it.
Yep. I think you can add them together and you're still fine. The assist, it was a little different when he was at the Knicks. He only had 5 potentials. By the time he got towards the end of his Knicks tenure, he was diamond up like 3 to 4 a game.
That's what my Discord chat was talking about it a little bit earlier today. He is one of the best playmaking centers in the league.
Easy. No question. Actually, the only one that might be better than him
Jokic.
is, Jokic is an alien. He's not a center. The other one that I was thinking of, Domas, yes. What about the guy on his team, Chet Holmgren? Like, what about if you have both
Adebayo as well. Yeah,
Oh,
Chet
gosh.
too. Yeah.
Both those dudes on the floor together, two ball handling passers. I mean, somewhat ball handling for him, but okay, that's cool. Pips does not care about last season's iHeart numbers.
No, I'm with you though. I'm with you though on the push shot, because I think that's how we. And look, I actually targeted who was it? Jonas Valanciunas versus the Mavs. For that reason, unfortunately, it didn't play out my way. I started to realize that he was involved in all of like the pick and roll, so like he didn't see the minute upside. Right. When he was in the game, like he was actually scoring.
Against the Mavs.
Lively and Gafford are going to play drop coverage, and they're going to let him. I think the way he would lose is if he makes those layups. But if he's doing those like push shots, I think that's how he's going to have to score. Exactly. I like that. Yeah.
And I like your angle of adding the assist as well. I think that's the good look. Those were my favorite two plays from that game. Real quick,
I guess I can give out the second official play if we're talking about it.
You have one? My bad.
Yeah. So I gave out
real quick. Let's do yours, and let's get to the to J Dub, which I want to go through with you because a bunch of people are asking about that, and then we'll close it out. But go ahead.
Okay, so first official play was Luka. The second one I like is SGA over 5.5 assists. That is like unplayable at this point.
Yeah,
ridiculous. Jesus Christ, minus 190.
Minus 190.
That's insane. No, I mean like if you want to play at this point, it's up to you. But I mean, it just kind of goes back to your point earlier. The Mavericks are probably going to play a little bit of zone defense here, probably by design. Earlier last game, he had 20 potential assists. I think the playmaking is a little bit more induced in this matchup. 5+ in like 5 of the last 6, or 6+ in 5 of the last 6 games versus the Mavericks. They're going to make it essentially. They're just going to make it really hard for him to score inside, and they're going to probably double or put 2 on the ball when he drives. That's going to force like kickouts, maybe a little bit of passes inside to Hartenstein, right? So I like the 5.5. At this point, it's unplayable. So
it is. But to your point, I mean, he does this against this team. The Mavs are similar. I was going to go to Fantasy Labs real quick, but the Mavs are similar in the way that they play defense. When you just look at some of the play type stuff, you can tell they're much better at limiting the points to the pick and roll ball handler, and they're not as good against the spot up, right? 9th most points per game allowed to the spot up. So it's just, these are starting points for you to understand the point guard, aka the guy with the ball in his hands the whole time, aka SGA, is going to be have the defense attempt to force the ball out of his hands before he can shoot, rather than allow him to get his own shots off. This is a textbook game for spot up guys, and SGA, as a result, playing off of the idea that spot ups are going to be successful, he's not shooting off the spot up. He's passing to the guys spotting up. So I fully agree with that. I do think there was something in here with the I just want to make sure I'm not lying to you. And it's not that helpful. I mean, it's the same dudes that he's always on the floor with, but I'm pretty sure his stuff this year with the guys he's playing with is about like 7.5 assists per 36. And I think you expect him to play 35+ in a game that, if this game is at all close, which I think we expect it to be. So, just to recap, Prop Bomb likes the SGA 6+ assists, probably still a good parlay leg for those of y'all that are playing parlays anyway, right? To take that at like minus 150 if you can get it.
No, why don't you do this? SGA 6+ assists, Luka 6+ rebounds. You know what I mean? Just do that. Yeah, 6+ boards for Luka is still going to probably get you like minus 290. Add it to SGA, you probably get this thing to about even money. I think that's like Luka is going to get 6 boards. Yeah. Somebody asked me earlier if I thought Giannis was going to get 8 boards, for instance. Yes, I do think that Giannis is going to get 8 boards. You're just taking a big alt line number there. So one more reminder, do give the video a like. We got a ton of people in here, so much appreciated this stream. We got up to 600. So feeling good about it. And then I will be back with a NBA video for tomorrow here in the next like 3-ish hours. I'm going to get that out as I look at the 2 games for tomorrow. One more reminder, if you do want to jump into the VIP, links are in the description of the video. All the tools that you see us using, including Props Madness, links are in the description of the video. And Prabham, what do you have to plug here? You got the VIP Discord, right, my man? If you want to check out my plays, it's the Discord. I guess you can maybe send a link or so in here. And it's a great time. Definitely would recommend.
I'm gonna put that in here as well. It's at Prop Bomb, and that's where it's the same on.
Honestly, the best way to do it is just go on my Twitter profile and click the URL. It's right there. Yeah.
Got you. Yep, no doubt. Yeah, definitely check all that stuff out. You're still running hot. Our guys still running very hot. So
I mean, every single play is very carefully picked. I'm not a quantity guy. Like, I'm not ridiculous in my volume. Everything takes like 30 to 40 minutes for me to like think in my head and run through all the possibilities. So it's all high quality stuff.
Yeah. No, can confirm. That the research is there, and you get the thorough write-ups with all of it. So much appreciated. No doubt. Appreciate everybody in here as well. Glad you guys were on board. Definitely give that video a like. Definitely check out the description of the video, and I will be giving you guys in the pinned comment on the YouTube video. If you missed any of these bets, going to go ahead and pin a comment with those bets.
Another thing, if you want to talk a little bit about more some like rapid fire stuff, I kind of like. We can go there.
Please go ahead.
So I'm just remembering from the last series, Thunder Mavericks, Aaron Wiggins was a guy that saw his role kind of decrease as the series went on. If you want to go back, you can look at the head-to-head. Like, it was just going straight down. And a lot of the reason is because they were using more Case and Wallace to defend Kyrie Irving down the stretch. And if Aaron Wiggins' shot, I'll tell you this right now, if his shot is not falling in the beginning of the game, he's going to have a quick plug. Like, he's going to be plugged out. And I think, like Casey Wallace or Alex Caruso can replace him. What's his PRA look like? I think I would maybe take the under. Yeah, I would probably take the under 12.5 PRA. That's where I would go for Aaron Wiggins.
Yeah.
And then just
the regular season either.
Yeah. It's just if the 3-point shot isn't falling, there's no reason to play him.
Right.
I also liked Daniel Gafford on that under 10.5 points.
Remember that?
We was talking to you a little bit. Who cares what the last 10 games looks like? It's matchup driven, right?
Yeah.
In the playoffs after Game 3, also his minutes started to tank in favor for Derek Lively's because of Derek Lively's a little bit more like footwork and ability to kind of like hinder SGA and drives. Also, too, like you have Hartenstein there, so I don't know if it's going to be easy for putbacks because he's really good with box out. So I like the under 10.5 points.
I like that.
We could talk about J-Dub or Kyrie or whatever.
Yeah, let's close out on J-Dub. I got to get a couple things done here in a sec, but did you have anything for him? Because I know people were bringing up J-Dub.
Sure.
And I didn't have as much for him in this matchup. Didn't look as closely, but 22.5. I'm usually like, if you're getting above 20.5 for me with J-Dub, I'm a little bit out. But the points or anything else that might make sense to you for him.
I think he's a very similar type player to SGA when it comes to betting his props. I like the over assist for him. I mean, it was 4.5. I like that. Yeah. I would maybe lean the under on the points for him for Jalen Williams. It was 20. Yeah, 22. I would probably lean that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Once you get above 20.5, I'm kind of out. And I do understand the dimes because honestly, like he is true 1B this season to SGA when you look at his usage and the amount of touches and the amount that the ball is in his hands. J-Dub is definitely just as much of a playmaker this year, more so than he was last year is what I'm saying. So yeah, you can see the potentials and the assists themselves are clearly up for him. This is a team giving up the 9th most assists per game allowed as well. That would be where I'd be looking if they're going to focus. Now, who are they going to have to guard if PJ and Najee are out? They're going to be in trouble for sure on defense. And so that's something to keep in mind. J-Dub a little bit more likely to go off in those situations. But with that level of unknown, I think I'm good on it. So I'm going to get us out of here. I do have to get a couple of things done. So we did run for a solid hour with you guys. Appreciate the time, my dude. Always.
This is like everything was equal. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll run it back on Friday. If you and Pips are both around, we got a nice big slate.
To come around for sure.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. We'll be back here this week, always tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. Until I see y'all next, happy betting.